postgame as NJIT, they get the win over Stony Brook 65-62. Mike Ventola with Joe Gutowski. And Joe, I'm sure you can exhale right now. Obviously, coming down to that final play, Miles Coleman hitting the game-winning three-point shot. Take us to how that came about, and obviously setting up Miles for what was the game-winning shot.
Yeah, Miles is he's our leading scorer. He's an exceptional, offensive player, and we just kind of wanted to space the floor. And Coach has all the confidence in the world in him. And we kind of played before, went to him again, but Booty made a great read, threw it back to him, and he made a huge shot and brought us over the top. So kudos to him for stepping up, and he likes that kind of moment, and he stepped up and delivered for us.
No, he was certainly huge in that moment, but it's also too. That shot was big, and he had a great night as well, too, Miles, with 16 total points. But how can we not talk about Keyshawn Mason tonight? A career night for him, and it was just nice to see. It's like, too, you guys had no problem with going him early enough, especially as a first-year player. And second, he grew before our eyes, it seemed like, here tonight.
Yeah, Keyshawn's an incredibly talented kid, and first and foremost, we got to give credit to Suleiman and Kel and Matt Faw and Jason Murphy. Those guys, we've got a lot of guys in our front court, and they work really, really hard every day. And you're starting to see him take that jump. And he went in Vermont and played really hard and had a couple good minutes down the stretch, and he had a couple of good days of practice. So I'm really happy for him to get out there and take advantage of this opportunity. And he's a talented kid. We keep telling him, that the sky's the limit for him. And sometimes he doesn't realize how powerful and strong he is down there at 6'9". He's got a 7'1" wingspan, and I think he really provided a huge spark for us in the first half, and especially 4 offensive rebounds, just getting us extra looks. So, very happy for Keyshawn tonight.
Matt Fall, like you said, he hit some big three-point shots, and and it also too was, you inserted he and Miles Coleman back into the game. I think it was around 5 or 6 minutes to go in the half, and they both had 4 fouls, and they were both able to keep their composure, of course, leading to Miles hitting the game-winning three-point. But I assume that just comes with experience, and these guys just stepping up in the big moment.
Yeah, Matt's a 5th-year kid, and this is Miles' 4th year. And Matt had 10 points, 8 rebounds, 3 block shots, and he's a little bit different. They play Frankie Policelli at the 5, so Matt's a little bit more able to guard on the perimeter, and Frankie was hurting us early with threes, and Matt was able to deliver without fouling, and Miles too. Both those guys, like you said, it was probably around the 3 or 4 minute mark they went in, and really, we got stops with them in there too, which was huge because, as we talked about before we got in there, they were 10 points below their season average.
Oh, yeah.
And, it was a defensive effort. We held them to 22% from 3. They were 1 of 8 from 3 in the second half, and that's why we were able to win the game. We got enough stops, and but it was a team effort. James Lee did a great job. He had Jalil Jenkins a lot of the night, Antoine Butler. Dylan O'Hearn had some of the guys in the backcourt, and IL Nankin. IL hasn't got his number called a lot, but we know he's tough, and we know he plays really, really hard. And he went in, got a couple deflections, took a charge, and total team effort from everybody out there today.
Defensively too, your team kept some big guys a little quiet. Obviously, Jalil Jenkins, who's one of the premier scorers. It seemed like in the nation right now, and you only kept them to 5 points. Now, Policelli and, of course, Anthony Roberts, they were able to each score 15 points, but ultimately you kept a team that was capable of shooting a 3 at any point, just 6 for 27 from three-point range, well below their average.
Right,
so you guys were really able to hone in on that defensively, which was great to see.
When we start off really well to start the year, we want to get back to defense and rebounding, and that's our DNA, is defense, rebounding, and competing. And when you hold a team to 6 of 27 from 3, and you give yourself a chance to win a game, and they have so many talented individual players there, but it's got to take a total team effort. It can't just be one guy. It's it's 1 through 14 on the roster to do it, and the guys bought in. They had great energy. They competed for 40 minutes, and they deserved this. They deserved to have a great night.
Absolutely. Look, you snapped this 7-game slide. That's all behind you. You got a win now in your back pocket. Look, wins are great, but of course nothing is perfect. So I got to ask you, as you guys get ready to go up to the University of New Hampshire now, what is it that you think that you and Coach Kennedy and the rest of the staff want to work on with these young men here as they get prepped for that New Hampshire contest?
I think a lot of it is just getting familiar with each other. We had a great start, and we've been knacked with injuries and stuff, and guys going down and COVID, and we finally feel like we've got everybody back together, and we know that we're talented enough to make a run at this thing, and that we can beat and compete anybody in the league. So we got to get rest, we got to recover, and we got to go up to UNH, which is always a tough trip. But the guys earn the day off tomorrow, and then we'll get back to it and have a couple good days of practice and hopefully go up there and play well.
Well, that's great. Well, Joe, we'll be, of course, rooting for you guys up in New Hampshire, and look forward to seeing you guys back in the Wellness and Event Center next weekend. So congrats again on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Joe Gutowski. Once again, NJIT, they defeat Stony Brook 65-62.